Butter chicken. It's your favorite, it's my favorite, it's everyone's favorite. And I do have to emphasize, one of the most beginner-friendly curries to make. I'll be showing you guys a very straightforward way to make this. In another 3 to 4 minutes, you'll be armed with the knowledge. Go forth and make some butter chicken. Now, before we begin, if you were worried about kitchen utensils, don't worry. Most of what I'm using, common kitchen items that most of you will have. And by most, I mean a broke college student probably has all these utensils. So don't worry about it. So without further ado, let's get started. First up, we have our chicken. I'm going to be using sliced up chicken thighs for that juicier and more flavorful dark meat. Throw in some yogurt, roughly 2 to 3 tablespoons. This will act as a binder for the marinade. 2 teaspoons of garam masala and half a teaspoon of chili powder. Give that a quick mix and let this marinate overnight. But if you're in a real hurry, you can get away with 30 minutes to a few hours. But overnight is still recommended. Fresh tomatoes, chop them up. I would actually prefer to use canned tomatoes, but since I have regular tomatoes lying around, I thought I might as well use them. Canned tomatoes are already softened, so they cook way easier and way quicker. But fresh tomatoes, if you're able to get them real fresh, are awesome. But if you can't get them real fresh, then canned tomatoes are the next best thing. Prepare your onions, give them a rough chop. Put your pan to medium-high heat, and we're going to give the chicken thighs some color. Once it's got a little bit of color, remove it from the pan and throw in your onions. Let the onions soften a little bit. Then you'll be adding 1 tablespoon of garam masala, 1 teaspoon of cumin powder, depending how spicy you like it, 1 teaspoon of chilli powder. I couldn't get fenugreek itself, but I got fenugreek mixed with salt. Throw in some butter, along with garlic paste and ginger paste. I'm gonna add in a little bit more butter. Give it a mix. Throw in your tomatoes. Remember to season with salt. And let this cook for another 10 to 15 minutes. Once the tomatoes are cooked down to look like this, turn off the heat. We're going to be transferring this to a blender. Now to that, add in half a cup of cashew nuts. Cashew nuts will be able to add that extra nutty and creamy flavor to the final curry. And blend. Transfer it back to the pan. Now, if you want the texture to be even smoother than this, you can pass it through a sieve, but that's mostly for aesthetic reasons, and for cooking at home on a weekday, that's not really necessary, so I'll be skipping that part. Turn the heat back to medium and wait for it to slightly bubble. Then we'll add 1 teaspoon of sugar and 2 teaspoons of vinegar. That'll round out the flavors and bring everything together. Now lastly, add back the chicken along with a knob of butter. Then give it a final mix to incorporate everything. Let this cook for another 2 to 3 minutes and you're all done. Serve it up with whatever choice of starch you want. I'm going with some rice because that's easy to make. But if you can make some garlic naan or you can buy some around you, definitely go for that. Garnishing with some dried herbs. And there everyone, butter chicken, all done. Damn, that's good.